Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie Brinkerhoff with Hair and Makeup by Steph, and today I'm going to be walking you through this super cute voluminous half-up ponytail inspired by our favorite blonde bombshell. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so since this style is very voluminous and bouncy, we're going to start by adding some texture at the roots. So I'm going to go in with the Kenra Volume Dry Shampoo, and I'm just going to spray this all throughout the hair. So you can see that she has a couple tape-in extensions, so I'm just working around those. This is very common. I feel like a lot of my clients like extensions for length or for thickness. So I'm just being mindful of that as I work this in the hair. Okay, and then I also am going to wet her fringe down and just blow dry those with some of the Kenra Thickening Mousse. I just want to frame these around her face. If they don't have fringe, you can definitely skip this step. Okay, so I'm just getting a small amount of this, and I'm just gonna work that in her fringe section. Okay, and then I'm going to round brush this straight towards the face with no part. Okay, and then I can just softly create a center part in there. Now we're gonna go ahead and start curling. So I'm just gonna start down here at the nape, and I'm gonna take a fairly large section. We're not doing small curls, so you can take bigger rows. Okay, and then I'm just going to lightly mist with the Kenra Hot Spray 20. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with a 1 1/4 inch curling iron and just get the ends of this curled. I'm not even gonna hold it for very long because I don't want it to be too curly. We're just going for a nice big soft curl. And then I'm going to clip that to let that cool. Okay, then I'm just going to keep working my way up the head until I get all of the hair curled. So the reason that I'm using a curling iron instead of a flat iron or a wand is because curling iron curls tend to be a lot bouncier and give more of a classic look. I'm also clipping them and letting them cool for longevity and to help them retain their shape. Okay, so now that all of this is curled and cooled, I'm going to let it down. So I'm just taking out all of these clips. Okay, then I'm just going to go in with a boar bristle brush and give all of this a nice thorough brush so that it gives it more of a blowout look. All right, now I'm going to go in and just add some back combing all throughout the hair. So in the crown, I want to make sure I'm creating a nice rounded shape. I'm doing my back combing really soft. So I'm not packing it in there too much. I'm just making it nice and fluffy. Just taking row by row and kind of working my way down. Okay, and as I'm doing this, I'm just using the Kenra Volume Spray 25 to lock that in place. So once again, she has some of these tape-in extensions, so I'm just working around those. So I'm taking the back combing about down to the ear. If they have really, really flat hair, you can always take it all the way through the ends if you want to. And the Volume Spray 25 is really good for this because it's locking this volume in place, but it's also still brushable. So I can still work with it. So in working with these extensions, I'm just being really careful with my back combing. So if I am going to back comb the extension, I'm going to be really gentle and I'm not going to take it too close to the scalp. Or if you just want to avoid the extensions, you can just do all of the hair that's in between the extensions. So when I'm back combing, it's usually easier for me to start on the top like this so that I can back comb it, hairspray it, and then flip it and get it out of the way while I back comb what's underneath it. All right, now that we have this back combed and smoothed, we can go ahead and get it in a half ponytail. So we're going to leave her fringe out, but then everything from the ears and up is going to get pulled into the half up style. So I'm going to take my tail comb, I'm starting right here at her ear, and I'm going to go on an angle and create a part like that. Okay, so taking this through the crown here, and then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. You can see it's just coming up from the ear and kind of a rounded, angled parting down to the other ear. So the reason that we're angling this parting instead of taking it straight across from her ears is because we're going to situate the ponytail a little bit higher. So I'm trying to position my part line where my ponytail is going to sit so that I can hide at the part line. Okay, so now I'm going to work on getting this smoothed so that I can get it up into a half ponytail. So I'm going to start on one side, and I'm going to use some of the Kenra Platinum Working Wax to smooth out these sides. And I want to be mindful of her extensions, making sure that all of that gets hidden. Okay, once that's nice and smooth and looking how I want it to, I can go ahead and get that in a ponytail in the center back. Okay, so once you have that in an elastic, you're gonna go ahead and flip that inside out. So you're just going to pull down on the elastic to loosen it. You'll create a small parting in the center. Okay, and then you'll just grab that ponytail and pull that through. Now we're just gonna go in and get this back combed. So I'm just gonna start at the top, take a small row, back comb underneath here. And then spray that with the Volume Spray 25. And then take another row and work my way down. So this is going to prevent the ponytail from splitting and also give it some nice volume and a nice rounded shape. Okay, then I can go ahead and flip this down and smooth out the exterior. Okay, so at this point, this is looking really cute, nice and voluminous, a good shape. If you're wanting your ponytail to have a little more bulk to it, you can always go in and add a second ponytail underneath. So you can leave it like this if you want. We already have it nice and clean around her ears, so I'm going to leave all of that how it is, and I'm just going to create this ponytail here in the center back. Just taking a little section, and I'll get this up right underneath my other ponytail. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing where I flip that inside out. So once again, just to reiterate, the reason why I'm doing this second ponytail is because she has a lot of layers, so there wasn't a lot of length in her top sections. So the ponytail was feeling a little bit short or maybe a little bit sparse. So this second ponytail is just going to help add some length and some volume to the ponytail. Okay, and then I'm gonna let that down and just get all of this brushed together. Okay, then I'm just gonna kind of fluff this up a little bit, lock it in place with some of the Volume Spray 25. Okay, and then I'm just fluffing these curls up a little bit with my boar bristle brush again, and I'll go in with a little bit more of the Volume Spray 25 through the ends as well. Okay, at this point, you can bring a little bit forward around the face if you want to, and then I'm gonna go ahead and detail her fringe. Okay, and then I'm just going in with my 1 1/4 inch curling iron, and I'm going to curl these towards the face, but very, very, very softly. And I'm just going to soften that. Okay, and then I'm just going to finish with the Volume Spray 25. Okay, and that completes this voluminous half-up ponytail. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful and that you learned something new. If you want to learn more styles from me, you can go ahead and click on one of these videos.